Howdy y'all, this is Redwolf. I've got a couple of projects I've been working on that spears play a pretty good part in, and I've been wanting to make some videos on this for a while, and I think I finally have a motley enough collection and done enough testing with them to have something to say. So this is going to, I think what I'm going to do, instead of making one like super huge video, I'm going to try and break it up into a bunch of little bite-sized chunks that kind of flow together, and just see how much ground we can cover. Alright, so I reckon I got my tree full of spears here in frame pretty well. I think the first thing I want to cover is what is a spear, and some misconceptions that I've seen that just bother the tar out of me. This will be broaching somewhere into the HEMA, Historical European Martial Arts type category, how games and media and stuff use spears. But a lot of this is going to be related to survival. So, I suppose the quick definition on a spear is it is a hafted hand weapon with a point or a head that is designed to do its primary damage by thrusting attacks and by piercing the target. Now in that very broad basic category, there's a lot of variation on how you can build them, and what led me to wanting to do this particular video is that I watched a lot of survival shows, and I've watched a lot of YouTube, read a lot of stuff, and a lot of people fail, particularly at hunting, during their one good opportunity to get game. I mean, you get close enough to poke something that you can eat with a stick, you better have the stick situated, because you don't get opportunities to walk up and pop it with a stick very often. And, you know, a couple years into watching that, I went, well, you know what, I know something about stabbing stuff with sticks. So, here we are. So the first thing you might can see here that I've got, now this is a cold steel practice head. These are rubber. They will bruise but not break you. And I've got it on just a long, thin pole that a buddy of mine had lying around his shop. I'm going to step back here so y'all might can see the end of it. But this height right here is within what I will call average historical spec for a spear that you keep in your hand and use, also known as a thrusting spear, as opposed to a throwing spear, which you chunk at stuff. These average, depending a lot on time period, culture, and you know, some of what you're weaving in and out of, but they normally go from shoulder height to as far up as you can reach. Much more, which is to say 7 to 9 feet on an adult. And the reason for that is, if you're not getting any reach out of it, what's the point? You know, if all you're doing this, well, I can stab with my Bowie knife as far as I can with this if I'm holding it up here and it's too short. There's no real advantage to carrying around a 4, 5, 6 foot thing if it doesn't give you a reach advantage. And you know, and with game, self-defense, getting out there where you can touch it and still be safe is good. And in the event of like dangerous game, you really want to keep it as far back as possible, because you know, boar hunting and stuff comes to mind. Some of the, particularly the medieval sources on this stuff, you know, they'll get in there and gut you. You know, they've got armor specifically for spear hunting, because stuff will get on the spear, it'll run up it, it'll reach out and grab you, it'll get in there with like boars with tusk, it'll get in there and it'll just tear you up. Now, outside the broad categories here, there's really 3 types of spear that we're going to cover. Well, 4. And those are self spears, which are your most primitive spears that don't have any sort of a head on either end. All it has is a sharp point that's made out of the primary haft material. We're going to talk a little bit about tanged, which is this little part right here that sticks down in here into the split shaft. We're going to talk about sockets, which are these hollowed out metal bits that slide over the top of the shaft. And we're going to talk a little bit about fishing spears and gigs. Yeah. So, before I ramble too far on this, I'm going to stop, and I think it'd be better to just go ahead and do this a little bit piecemeal and cover each topic on its own. Hope y'all enjoy this. Hope you learned some stuff. Bear with me. I promise we got some stuff to talk about that actually matters. So until next time, this is Redwolf signing off. Y'all keep up the good fight.